Hello everyone. Thank you to all the subscribers who have stayed loyal to the channel. Much appreciation and thanks to you all. I have not posted anything for over a week. This is because I have not been feeling great. I have problems with my eyesight or vision to be precise. I am looking forward to slightly better days ahead. Let us continue. Ugandan United Nations Criminal Tribunal judge has been convicted of immigration and modern slavery offenses after trafficking a young woman to the UK to work as her slave. I was asked to comment on the disgraced LYDIA MUGAMBE by one of the subscribers to the channel. A former United Nations judge claimed immunity before being convicted for forcing a young woman to work as a slave. The prosecutor said, LYDIA MUGAMBE prevented the young woman from holding down a steady employment and forced her to work as her maid and childcare for free. This woman is so full of herself. I doubt if she had direct immunity for slavery too. She was shocked and offended by everything that the policeman was saying to her. Never ashamed of her actions towards the maid. Quite entitled to everything. Contributing nothing but pain to the maid. The United Nations could not take it. So, simply dropped her like a hot potato. You notice how she could not even present her story properly despite being a lawyer and judge. Looks like she was taken by surprise. So much for being a judge. There is no mistaking her startled face.
After forcing a woman to work as a slave. LYDIA MUGAMBE, also a High Court judge in Uganda, was found guilty of conspiring to facilitate a breach of UK immigration law, forcing someone to work and conspiracy to intimidate a witness. The woman was genuinely shocked she had committed a crime. Take a look at her arrest.
So unfortunately I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned, something which later on in court, anything you do say may be used as evidence. Alright. Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat?
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy if you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
Gasps were heard from the public gallery as the verdicts were given, according to the BBC. The court was then cleared as Mugambe apparently felt unwell. The prosecutor in the case alleged Mugambe, here studying for a law PhD at Oxford, had conspired with the Ugandan Deputy High Commissioner John Leonard Mugawa to bring the woman to the UK. The pair apparently participated in a, quote, very dishonest trade-off, in which Mugawa arranged for the Ugandan High Commission to sponsor the young woman to come to the UK. In exchange, Mugambe would attempt to speak to a judge who was in charge of legal action Mr Mugawa was named in, jurors heard. Mugambe was also found guilty of conspiring to intimidate the woman to withdraw her testimony. According to her UN profile page, Mugambe was appointed as a judge 3 months after police were called to her address in Oxfordshire. Thames Valley Police Commander for Oxfordshire said, LYDIA MUGAMBE is an extremely qualified lawyer, a Ugandan High Court judge and a UN Criminal Tribunal judge. After the offences had been reported to the police, Mugambe tried to evade justice by repeatedly claiming she had diplomatic immunity due to her status. Any immunity Mugambe may have enjoyed as a UN judge has been waived by the Office of the United Nations Secretary General.
She should be on television doing some skit. I just would like to reiterate that this case would have been a non-starter in Africa. There is no way that this case would have made it to the local village council. Thanks to the British system of justice. No one is above the law. Let us continue. She said, she is a judge in her country. She is a diplomat. She came to Britain as a student. So, which one of the above gives her the authority to treat another person as a slave? Oh well, where have I heard this before? PhD law candidate at Oxford and UN tribunal judge with diplomatic passport is not mutually exclusive. Her immunity was waived in 2023 when this was recorded, but the video released when she was found guilty this week. The sense of entitlement and privilege is astonishing. Exactly how the elite in Africa behave to oppress their own is unbelievable. What a shame of all-time low. Let us continue. Slavery is officially illegal in Africa, but it is still quite common, alive and well in some households. The maids are commonly mistreated in a lot of African households. Some have long working hours, painfully low wages, and lack of legal protection. Sadly, some domestic workers experience abuse, including verbal, physical, or the big S word from male members of the household. In fact, do not be deluded that just because you work for a professional, your pay will be decent. Never. The pay that some of affluent professionals pay maids is so pathetically little. If the roles were exchanged, they would struggle to live on that wage. That said, let us carry on. The sleep-in maids get a very raw deal. A lot of them go to bed very late and wake up early to start work. Work for a maid in Africa is cleaning, sweeping, mopping, scrubbing floors, cleaning bathrooms and kitchens, preparing meals, grocery shopping, and food storage. Then there is washing, drying, and ironing clothes and linens. And not to mention washing trainers and polishing shoes. All in a day's work. The list goes on and on. Childcare, taking care of children, including feeding, bathing, and playing with them. Elderly care, assisting with the needs of elderly and sick family members. Other errands, running errands, gardening, washing the veranda, and other household chores. You tell us if that is not pure slavery from African to African. Another hotspot for slavery is the United Arab Emirates. We have all seen real-life videos of ill treatment, and some maids have been deleted. No kidding. I have been following this story closely, and here's what people have shared about it. The young maid didn't fabricate any story to her boss. Instead, while taking the kids to play at the park, she met two women who struck up a conversation with her. They asked why she wasn't in school, as her petite frame made her appear younger. She explained that she was working as a maid. Concerned, the women asked her more questions, including how much she was being paid. She answered honestly, and they advised her to request a salary increase from her boss. However, when she approached her boss, things took a turn. Instead of addressing her concerns, the boss became defensive and intimidating, accusing her of being ungrateful and reminding her of the help she'd received, like being brought to the country. The maid, feeling powerless, stayed quiet and continued her duties. Later, she returned to the park and met the same women again. They asked if her boss had responded to her request. She shared what had happened and mentioned that her boss kept her passport. Alarmed, the women contacted the police and encouraged the maid to explain her situation. This led to an investigation, uncovering significant fraud, including how she had been brought into the country. The maid, however, was innocent and unaware of the implications of her story. This is a huge story and should be receiving worldwide attention. She is also a UN fellow at Columbia University. Please, anyone who is a victim of modern slavery or suspects that modern slavery is being committed in England and Wales should contact the police. They will listen and offer you help. Do not suffer in silence. LYDIA MUGAMBE will be sentenced at the same court on May 2, 2025. Strange world. Greed and corruption at its finest. Thanks for watching. Share the video and spread the channel, please. Thank you. Catch you in the next one.